Okay, we're back now. I hope you were able to successfully format the tables for your mousetrap card distance table. Now we're going to start filling in the independent data table. It's fairly straightforward with the exception of the fractions that we're going to be putting here in the axle diameters. And I will try to run you through a couple of scenarios that will happen if it's not done exactly the way the spreadsheets want them to be done. The thing is spreadsheets pretty much don't like to deal with fractions, but we as human beings oftentimes speak in terms of fractions. So we're going to go through the process of putting fractional sizes in for those axle diameters. The wheel diameter is very straightforward. We're just going to put in the wheel size choices that we have for the gumball machine, and they were 3 through 8. So I'm simply just going to enter 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. The way I was doing that, I was just hitting the arrow on the keyboard. I would type 3 and hit the sideways arrow, and it would automatically move sideways, and just ran down the different sizes. In pulled string, I'm going to put 3.5 here. And that represents the amount of string that the mousetrap can actually pull from one end of the mousetrap to the other, which really represents um, mechanically how much power the mousetrap's going to be able to apply to the axle. So that being said, really for spreadsheet purposes, all you need to know is that the pulled string is 3.5 inches. Axle diameters, this is where we get into fractions. The problem with fractions is if I simply type in 1/8 and press return, it looks correct. So if we're looking right here, that appears to be correct. But if I click on that cell and we look up in our formula bar, it's actually a date. Spreadsheets just kind of automatically, they think they're helping you. They think that 1/8 you must mean January 8th. Clearly we do not. We really mean 1/8 of an inch. But if you put an inch marker in there, it becomes text and not a number, so you can't do that either. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the information that I have put in here. Here is how you create fractions. I'm going to click and highlight these 3 cells. Those are the cells where I'm going to put in fractions. So I'm going to go ahead and format them all at the same time. So again, I simply clicked in the center of the cell. Don't drag from this blue dot yet. That'll be something that we learn later. Right now, you just click in the middle of a cell, drag sideways. That's going to highlight those cells. Next, we're going to go under Format, Number. You're going to go, sorry, it's not wanting to. So now we're going to go all the way down to the bottom where it says More Formats. You're going to select Custom Number Format. So again, I went under Format, Number, More Formats, Custom Number Format, and I click on that. Then what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to type in 2 question marks. So question mark, a forward slash, and then 2 more question marks. So question mark, slash, question mark. And I'm going to click apply. What this does is it sets up a format for a fraction, whereas any question mark can be a digit. So it could be, for example, 13/32, because there's 2 places for the numbers. It doesn't mean you have to use 2 numbers, but what it does mean is that if you had, for example, 33/100, that wouldn't work because you only have room for 2 digits, not 3. And what it would do is it would round it. It would round it down to, my guess is 3/10. So that's why we have to put 2 question marks slash 2 question marks, and we click apply. The next thing that absolutely has to be done when you type your fraction, you must first type an equal sign. So I type equals 1/8, press return, and now it shows as 1/8, and up here it says it's equals to 1/8. So that's the only way that it's going So here it's going to be equals 3/16, and this is why we needed to make sure that we used 2 question marks in our format. Press return. And now here I'm going to, on purpose, not type the equal sign to show you what happens when you don't. So I'm going to type in 1/4 with no equal sign. And again, it looks perfectly fine here, but if you look up here, it's a date. And you're like, oh no, I forgot to type the equal sign. So you press delete and you type in equals 1/4 because you remembered the mistake that you made, so you went back to fix it. You press return, and for some reason that I don't know of, but it happens every time, you get what appears to be 12/30, which is not 1/4. So to fix this, you then have to go up into Format, Number, and now that you've created this format, it's sitting right here for you to choose. So now I select that, and it fixes it. Okay, so it's fixable, but it's not as simple as just putting the equal sign back in there. You do, in fact, have to put the equal sign in front of it and then go back and reformat it if you made that mistake. The next video is going to be filling out the wheel data table. So see you at the next video.